The majority of college graduates are refusing to work a federal government job. Why are educated young people going another way? Let's dig into a recent report and find out why. Over 1,000 college graduates were surveyed, and only 40% of them said that they would even consider working a federal government job. 30% felt the hiring process was too complicated. And I think a lot of us can agree. The federal hiring process is confusing and complicated, and I don't believe that the colleges and universities are spending a lot of time with the students in order to prepare them to apply and get a federal government job. You look at the resume is not the same as the private sector, it's completely different. There's certain areas that you need to have or you'll be disqualified. Also, the human resource specialists, they cannot make assumptions. So in the private sector, if you put down that you worked in an office, it's taken for granted that you know how to use a stapler. Now in the federal government, you actually, if using a stapler is a requirement, you have to list that you're proficient with a stapler. So there's a lot of nuances. Another one is the length. With a private sector resume, students are often told do not exceed 1 page. Especially if they're younger. Do not exceed that 1-page resume. And in the government, you can easily come across 6, 8, 10-page resumes. Then there's the whole eligible, referred. What does being referred even mean? To a young person coming out of university, you might not know. And if you get an interview, those are different also. They're very rigid. It's hard to be personable. It's hard to let your personality come through to the interview panel. We also have to consider the time. Right? Most people, especially younger people, are probably not patient. And when you're talking about the average time to actually get a federal government job, you're looking at 6 months, and it could easily be up to 12 months depending on the agency. So are they willing to just stand by, to sit by working a small minimum wage job, waiting for that federal government job to open up for them? 20% had no idea they could even work for the federal government. They didn't understand the opportunity. And unless you had a friend or a relative that worked in the government, a lot of times that doesn't even cross your mind as an opportunity that you can actually work for. I know as a kid, I never thought about it. None of my parents ever worked for the government. Schools can do a better job communicating that this opportunity exists. And also the federal government, when it comes to recruiting, they can do a better job also. In order to attract strong, qualified candidates, there needs to be an investment in a recruiting campaign. 38% said that they would not apply to a government job because they felt underqualified. I say it time and time again, do not sell yourself short. Do not do it. Do not disqualify yourself. Okay, a lot of us have experience. Even if you've never been paid $1 for your experience, you still have experience. You have volunteering experience. You have experience while you were at school. You have experience while you're working for your community. Whatever the case is, the chances are you have valuable experience. So why did these graduates feel they were underqualified? Well, here are some of the top reasons. 1, they felt like they didn't have enough experience. 2, they didn't have the right skills. And 3, they didn't have the right degree. So listen, the vast majority of government jobs, they do not require a degree. Do not think that you have to have a degree. You're looking through the job announcement and you see under education, a lot of times for GS9 it'll say master degree, or GS11 it'll say PhD, and that scares people. The education part, get that out of your head. Look at the experience part. That's where the vast majority of people are going to qualify for. And then, as a college graduate, you have a special hiring pathway just for you. You have the recent graduate pathway. That will give you a leg up among a lot of other people. Now, despite the lack of interest in applying to federal government jobs, the graduates did list some reasons on why they thought a government job could be desirable. The first one was the work-life balance. The second was pay and compensation. And the third was the flexible working arrangements and the job security. The study suggests that the federal government should look on how they're advertising their jobs. So instead of emphasizing so much on years of experience, they could emphasize on skills. So yeah, you might not have 3 or 5 years of experience, but if you have the right skills, you could be of value to that organization. And they should do a better job in promoting the flexible work life and the career progression that you could experience if you're in the government. The federal government sector has a lot more older workers than the private sector. And I think it could benefit from injecting some new blood into the system to get new experiences, new perspectives. If you're a parent watching this, would you ever encourage your kid or maybe a relative to pursue a government career? And if so, drop a comment down below and let me know. Now, if you're watching this and you're ready for a federal government job and you're working on your federal resume, you do not know if it's strong enough, I want to share some tips with you that I learned after reviewing over 100 resumes, and you can learn about them if you watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.